Alrighty, welcome back everyone, it is LaughNgamez here. Today we're back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Today we have ourselves a Terran versus Protoss on the map Frozen Temple between two great players here. So without further ado, spawning down the bottom right hand side of the map, it is the red Terran player. Playing for Team Flipside, it is Drunkenboi. So Drunkenboi is one of the more consistent Terrans in North America. North America hasn't necessarily had a lot of Terran players who've really gotten the best results, but there's definitely some consistent players in the region, and Drunkenboi is definitely one of them, as he's always showing up and playing good games here. And going up against puCK, spawning down the bottom left-hand side, playing for Root. It is puCK. I sort of botched that intro, but that doesn't matter. So you might be wondering, why do you cast so many puCK games? Lately, I think probably about 3 out of the past 4 games I've cast have been games that are by puCK. Well, that have puCK in them. Now, basically the reason for that is because puCK is actually a constant streamer, but more importantly, he releases his replays. He's constantly putting them out. I always try to cast recent replays that are from the ladder, that aren't necessarily tournament games, but are games that players play when they're practicing, because even though it's not from a tournament game, there's definitely still games that are coming out, still great games that are coming out, and I always try to cover as many of those as I can. And puCK puts out lots of replays, and he plays versus great players like Drunkenboi often. So that's why I continuously cast puCK replays. Anyway, enough talking about actually casting. It's time to do some casting. We have Drunkenboi's moved in with an SCV scout, really seen everything he's wanted to. Nothing super surprising, no like proxy gates or anything like that coming out in this game. Just a standard Nexus opening for puCK. I believe that was the gateway into Nexus. And then we have for Drunkenboi just a standard no Reaper scout, so not actually super standard. He's just opening up with a Marine here, wanting that quick reactor, and then following it up with a factory, saving the gas on the Reaper. Actually going for a double gas though, so this could be a bit of a different build here from Drunkenboi. We could possibly see the sort of Cyclone build that pro players have been going for a lot. Going for a fast starport, so that's not likely going to be the case. Actually opening up with a mine drop, it's going to look like very, very quick mine drop. In fact, this is probably the quickest mine drop you can go for. Drunkenboi going to try to catch puCK off guard here and try to get some early damage done with this drop. Possibly going to follow it up with something like a Liberator, but regardless, he's opening up aggressive. He's going for a very late CC if he ever gets a CC. And maybe he's doing this because he knows the player. puCK is a player who often likes to open up with a Twilight Council, but this time he's opening up with a robotic space, so he's playing it safe. He's going to move across the map with an Adept likely. He might just keep this one at home, but often a Protoss player will move across the map with the Adept, try to get some scouting off. And Drunkenboi actually placing his mine at the top of his ramp. So possibly pulling some Marines back. Needs to be safe from Oracles, because even if you open up aggressive, you can always take damage to something like an Oracle, or to really any attack that comes from the player. But right now it is Drunkenboi who is looking to be the aggressive player. Medivac on the way, so he's going to be moving out with a drop, possibly following this up with a Siege Tank or a Cyclone. We shall see. Nope. Actually possibly going to follow this up with a Banshee. This is an interesting play here, or maybe just a Barracks. Okay, yeah, so he's going to be going for a... Drunkenboi is going to be playing this out very aggressive, going for a mine drop, going to follow it up with whatever he chooses to go for, but then going for a quick stim after this with this Barracks and Tech Lab likely. Actually getting another Tech Lab here on the starport here, so it could be Banshees. I'm doubting that it will be, but it's always a possibility. It doesn't really make sense to go for a mine drop and then a Banshee as a player, as obviously if they get detection to detect the Widow Mine, they'll have detection to detect the Cloaked Banshee. So we're actually just seeing lots of add-ons coming down for Drunkenboi, possibly to swap with his buildings right now. The Widowmine is growing, staying alive, possibly going to connect with an Adept to this drop. No, it does not. Starting to pick up probes here, denying mining, very important. puCK actually wanting to bait out this Widowmine shot lately, but actually just going to tank the shot with an Adept. He does lose one Adept to that Widowmine, and Drunkenboi gets a decent amount of damage done there here. He managed to get to, only 2 probes, but he denied mining time there. He's getting up his own CC here, so not the best opening from Drunkenboi, but he's going to be able to possibly come back in this game, because he's going to have lots of aggression churning out here. Now, this is interesting for Drunkenboi. He's getting out a Raven. He did get a Tech Lab on the starport, and I was sort of wondering what he'd go for, but opening up with a Raven, you can always kill off observers with a Raven, detect DTs. Point defense drones are very good. Ooh, Widowmine for Drunkenboi, burrowing in the middle of the map, wanting to possibly pick anything off as puCK moves across the map. Maybe a Warp Prism if puCK carelessly rallies it. But we are seeing puCK going for his ever so classic Blink Stalker style here. So likely going to be a Blink pressure into Disruptors. Could be a Blink all-in. There is currently only 3 gateways right now, so possibly going to follow this up with a Nexus, maybe more gates we're going to see, but for now he's spending a lot on investments. Now Drunkenboi, this Widowmine did get a shot here. It might get cleaned up later on, but for now puCK's just focusing on going for an attack on Drunkenboi. Mine did though did get confirmation on this Drunkenboi, throwing down an auto turret with that Raven here. You see Drunkenboi moving out, trying to push this attack back, but he needs to be careful here. He can always sort of get jumped on by these Blink Stalkers, but puCK is seemingly looking to expand here. So that poke he was going for sort of just got shut down hard by Drunkenboi there, as Drunkenboi is opening up aggressive, so it sort of countered puCK's build here. +1 on the way for Drunkenboi, so he will have an upgrade advantage. Stim on the way, combat shield, so he's going to have a very strong push here, and it seems that puCK actually ate another Widowmine shot there. That Widowmine definitely getting his value worth. 2 Stalkers and an Adept killed so far by that Widowmine. Very effective here. And puCK's just forgotten about it. puCK should have an Observer moving out somewhere, but no, he's just sitting on this Widowmine for now. He needs to be careful. Does not want to let a Widowmine get 4 kills there. Drunkenboi, very nice concave at the top of the ramp, being defensive. Players are even on supply right now. Drunkenboi's down in the economy a bit, as puCK did have a much quicker economy. He's got that 3rd base on the way, and puCK is teching to that Disruptors, but there is going to be a window for Drunkenboi to get damage done here. Stimpack is done. Concussive Shell on the way to chase down these Stalkers here. Combat Shield done, +1 attack almost done for Drunkenboi, so he can move out whenever he chooses to. And he's got a good amount of bio right now, which will trade effectively versus just pure Blink Stalkers right now. And I think if Drunkenboi went for an attack, he could definitely take a positive trade here, as long as he doesn't sort of overcommit to into something like the Immortal and Overcharged Pylons. Drunkenboi, though, is just contently sitting here for now, but no, now he's deciding to move across. This Raven is going to see this Observer, so he might pick that off. puCK, oh, so quick there on the draw, moving that Observer out of harm's way. Drunkenboi's going for an attack, so he can't wait around for anything like this. We now see Drunkenboi wanting to push up this ramp, but I don't think it's going to happen. There is no sentry, so he can always push up, and he's actually just stimming straight up there. Point defense from goes down to start soaking some shots, soaking those Stalker shots, and that's allowing Drunkenboi's push to deal a lot more damage than originally expected. puCK, very good micro, saving that Immortal as Drunkenboi tries to focus it down, and Drunkenboi was pushed back there, so he didn't get as much damage as he wanted to do. He went for a good timing, he traded, but not necessarily exactly what he wanted, as now puCK's going to be getting to these Disruptors, upgrades on the way, more production. His economy is going to boom from this 3rd base. Drunkenboi's got a good amount of supply back at home. I guess he's paranoid of a counterattack. Very good for a player to be prepared to counter Adept drops, as we've seen countless Terrans lose to Adept drops. But you always need to try and keep pressure on as a Terran player, so Drunkenboi can't sit back defensively right now. He needs to continuously put on the pressure. He's got +1 armor on the way, so he doesn't want to let his upgrade advantage slip away, but no armory on the way, no second eBay, so he is just going to be sticking on this 1-1 for a while. It looks like 3rd base finishing up for Drunkenboi, so he's not going to be super behind on the upgrades. It's not like he's going for an all-in or anything like that, but he's not in the best macro situation right now. Mine's constantly on the way, though, can be very effective versus sort of a Stalker Adept comp, but puCK is going for pure Stalkers, and Disruptors can counter mines very well if they get good connections, as they don't need detection to kill them. puCK Stalkers can always bait out Widowmine shots. I think Drunkenboi is going to be very hard pressed to get damage done. 2 Disruptors are already there. Liberators are going to put the pressure on, and puCK's actually going to move down this ramp and try to pick them off. Trades 1 Stalker for 1 Adept, and Drunkenboi actually moves forward so bold, picks off these 2 Disruptors as he spins up the ramp. Very good trade there for Drunkenboi. Such a bold move. He goes in for a drop as well at the same time. Sort of mistimed a little bit there, but puCK's being pulled apart regardless right now. Drunkenboi spinning and trying to trade with Stalkers, baiting on Photon Overcharges right now. Drop going to the main base of Drunkenboi. There's not that much. The Photon Overcharges have been used, and you can't really warp in Stalkers to deal with this. There's so many Marauders in this drop, and puCK's going to start losing tech. Loses the Cybernetic score, losing more units at the front. He's got a much scarier army at the front. These Disruptor shots are picking off the bio, but Drunkenboi is so good at focusing down those Disruptors, and now puCK's lost the Mothership core. He's lost all of his Stalkers at the front, well, most of them anyway. He's trying to he's holding off the attack in the main base, but that's cost him sort of the hold at the front. Drunkenboi is going to be forced back, but he took an amazing trade there, got some pressure done, killed off the cybernetics for to puCK. No more stalkers on the way. He's just going full disruptor production right now. See, he's got all this money he can't spend right now unless he wants to warp in zealots, which he is, which are going to serve one purpose, and that's to be sort of cannon fodder right now. Drunkenboi, another drop being cleaned up. These marauders are being shredded by the immortal and the stalkers, so that's a bit of a poor trade, but I think he picked off another disruptor there, and he's actually going to try and pick off this immortal too, so puCK losing that, and he's not going to have that around for a long time. And another disruptor, poor rally, pops out right in front of those marauders, and these marauders are getting so much damage done. Wouldn't mind shooting a marauder and zealot at the same time. Drunkenboi moves forward, great micro there, loses one marauder for this disruptor, gonna possibly lose more here. Moving forward, yes he does, overcommits a bit of misrallied minds, sort of just run in there, just connecting with stalkers there. This is such a scrappy fight right now, both players down on supply a significant amount here. These marauders, though, healed by these medivacs, are just trading very effectively for Drunkenboi. He's got this upgrade lead, and the disruptor count never reached too high for puCK, so you can always keep trading. Widowmine's burrowing, allowing Drunkenboi to solidify this position. puCK tries to bait out the Widowmines with a stalker there, but loses them. Ooh, but great disruptor shot. Cleans up this attack for Drunkenboi. It looks like the attack's still holding, but not many units to push right now. These two marauders so bold. Gonna lose one of them immediately. I think Drunkenboi needs to sort of consolidate a bit more vibe, but Drunkenboi is ahead on supply. Ooh, this one disruptor, we're gonna get two Widowmines. Two fresh Widowmines at that. Another Widowmine kills off a warping and stalker. Every trade is good here right now. I get a scan actually cleaned up that observer, so these Widowmines are here to stay unless the disruptor cleaned them up. Drunkenboi got 2-2 on the way now. His third base is getting saturated. He's trading at this front continuously. Just Liberators on the way, 2-2 on the way. And for now, it's just Disruptors and Blinkstalkers on the way for puCK. Usually the Disruptor Blinkstalker combination for puCK is what allows him to sort of be in control in the game, but right now Drunkenboi sort of got the noose around puCK's neck, but two Disruptor shots going. Ooh, both of them are focused, fired down. puCK loses all his Disruptors. It's now just stalkers. One disruptor though comes back to sort of push his army back, but right now puCK is down on supply, is warping and more stalkers, but he's down on upgrades. This is marauders versus stalkers. We all know how this goes. His third base being harassed by this liberator right now, and puCK's gonna try to hang on here. He keeps this one disruptor alive, very important right now. He's half his production of disruptors, so every disruptor matters for puCK right now. Drunkenboi might have overextended a bit right now, but he's got the third base shut down for puCK. puCK does have a fourth base on the way. He's getting some harassment done, spending these excess minerals on zealots. He's just warping in, no charge on these zealots, so and this warp prism is going to be cleaned up eventually, but the main base of Drunkenboi is sort of compromised for now. The two disruptors are trying to keep puCK in this game right now, but his third base could possibly go down as long as he keeps his fourth base alive. I guess that's important. Fourth base just finishing up right now. Another disruptor coming out right now. Stalker warping for puCK right now. He's sort of building an army supply decently. Disruptor picks off two mines, so important right now, and sort of puCK can break out right now. He's picking off his Liberator. He loses his third base, and Drunkenboi is actually moving down, starting to shave off a good amount of probes right now, evening up the worker count. Possibly going to focus down a pylon, or maybe the Nexus here. No, puCK's on top of this right now. He's chasing down this very weak army, and actually Blink's on top. Very decisive Blink by puCK right now. Getting on top of this army. Drunkenboi tries to sandwich him, but another disruptor shot goes out and saves him, picks off a large chunk of the bio. And Drunkenboi's lead has sort of disappeared by now. puCK's sort of in shambles, but it's not a bad situation for him. I believe the +2 armor for Drunkenboi was cancelled. Yeah, he lost at Engineering Bay. He's actually lost his armor in his Engineering Bay, so no more upgrades are going to be on the way for Drunkenboi right now. puCK lost his third base, so both players are sort of on even economy right now. Drunkenboi always has mules. He's did a good job harassing puCK, so he is in the lead right now. And he can always float his main base if he needs to, but players sort of trading blow for blow here, as in Drunkenboi trying to push his advantage, but puCK holding strong. So many starports on the way here, so much tech coming down for Drunkenboi. Another CC, 2 starports on the way. He's got another armory on the way. He's sort of rebuilding everything. He's gonna sort of go for the next stage of Terran. A fusion core would be nice to see, as he is going to be going for lots of Liberators right now, so he can get that Liberator range, or at least I assume that's what these starports are for. Drunkenboi sort of getting up his production yet again, but this is giving puCK room to breathe. He's building up his disruptor count yet again. He's only at 2 right now, well 3. I believe another just popped out. So puCK is sort of getting upgrades on his own, so he's trying to close that gap. He's going to have his third base saturated soon, and this is where his production is really going to sort of take off and give him a chance to make a decision that will sort of allow him to claw his way back into this game. But I don't know if Drunkenboi is going to give puCK time right now, as he's moving out yet again, going to push up this ramp. puCK sitting on top of this ramp, such a good defensive position with these disruptors. I think puCK does need another disruptor on the way. He's got 3, but we saw how good Drunkenboi was at picking these off. We saw a Liberator harassing the 4th base, very well done by Drunkenboi, not just harassing the 4th base, completely pulling puCK out of position. And now Drunkenboi stimming into the natural base of puCK. puCK, his base isn't too important right now, but his entire main is compromised, and Drunkenboi can stim in there. These disruptors are going to have to clean this up, as the stalkers cannot. So puCK slowly chasing down this army with these disruptors, but puCK's losing so much tech right now. Drunkenboi lifts up a lot of his units into medivacs, but not enough medivacs, so he is going to trade off a good amount of his bio, but picking off the disruptor as well, great trades. puCK trying to catch this drop. He's focusing. Well, he's trying to focus on these 1 disruptor trades for a handful of bio, but there's still this bio, and puCK's last disruptor is vulnerable right now. The stalkers are trading with a drop for Drunkenboi. puCK cleaning this up, but he's down on army supply. He's done some harassment across the map, I believe, and Drunkenboi is sort of starting to mine out, so the economy for Drunkenboi is going to be a bit short-lived, but he's landing this 4th base, so it's not going to be... He's going to resecure this. puCK got his 4th base up and mining yet again, his 3rd base mining yet again, so he's got sort of 2 fresh bases, whereas Drunkenboi is really going to be on 1 because of muling this 3rd base so hard. But puCK's in such a tough situation right now. No tech. He's simply got Adepts and Stalkers as his tech. He's got another Robo, but he's only got a Robotics Bay on the way now, so no more disruptors. This 1 disruptor is going to have to be a massive playmaker. puCK wants to stay in this game. He's sort of trying to hang on right now, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. This 1 disruptor is sort of lurking, trying to pick anything off it can. Right now we see a Planetary Fortress on the way for a Terran player. That's when a Terran player usually is confident and wants to focus on attacking. He's securing the 4th base. He's not going to bother trying to rally units at home. The Planetary is such a good investment to prevent from something like 2 Adept harassment. Yes, these Adepts will be able to shut down mining, but they're not going to be able to get in and just slaughter SCVs. puCK's going to want to have good control, but he's not paying attention right now. These Adepts are eating Planetary Fortress shots. As long as they stay alive, they can shut down the mining at the back of the space. Pulling Drunkenboi completely back. Very well done by puCK, buying himself some time, and those 2 Adepts actually get out of there. That's a movie escape right there, just escaping right before everything gets bad. We see another disruptor on the way for puCK, so he's managing to sort of pull his tech back right now, but he's down on upgrades still. It's 2-1 to 1-1. puCK going through a sort of hidden nexus right now, but I don't know if this is what puCK needs, as there's an attack coming in for puCK right now, and an attack coming in for Drunkenboi, and puCK's not going to have too much to hold this. He's got Adepts, but I don't know if he has Resonating Glaives. He does have Resonating Glaives, so that will allow him to sort of tank, and this is actually a good choice by puCK. As far, he's in a bad situation, but Adepts are very tanky. Marauders are not too effective versus Adepts, so this is always going to allow puCK to come back from this game. Disruptor Shot goes out, only picks off 1 Marauder, and now Drunkenboi is going to support, trying to pick these off. I don't know, he might have overcommitted, though, trades a massive amount of bio for 1 Disruptor. I don't think that was worth it, but he's harassing the main base of puCK. Mothership Core, though, Photon Overcharge, going to start cleaning up this drop, going to clean up some of the Marauders, at least slow the destruction of his production. puCK's sort of on the opposite side of the map right now, trying to clean up these Liberators, but he can't, as these Marauders are just covering him so well. He can't blink forward, or the the Marauders will shred his Stalkers. puCK's main base is compromised once again, warping in Zealots to try and clean this up, but he doesn't have charge. He is continuing that disruptor production, which is very important. They're the comeback makers for puCK. We see the Stalkers cleaning up these Liberators before they siege, but now there's so much bio for Drunkenboi. It's stimming forward. Disruptor Shot goes in, managing a huge connection there for puCK. Very well done. He's trying to hang on to this game. He's got a worker lead right now. His economy is actually in the lead right now, so puCK is hanging on. He's somehow still alive, but these 6 Marauders in his base are doing so much damage. He's trying to focus everywhere he can, but then now there's a scary kind of Liberator for Drunkenboi. puCK doesn't have too many Stalkers to clean this up. He focused on the Adept. It's going to be very tough for him to take a fight. He is down on army supply, throwing out Disruptor Shots, allowing him to jockey for position and clean up 2 of the Liberators. Their Disruptors need to fire out Novas if they can, but I think puCK might be out of them. I think he used all the shots. He's got another Nova right now, and he's firing it out, but I think Drunkenboi's going to get on top of his army. He picks up 1 Disruptor and gets out of there. puCK's 3rd base, 4th base is now getting harassed. He's got the 5th base, but it's not mining at all. Drunkenboi muling his own 4th base at the same time, lifting off, harassing the main base yet again after he moves away from the 4th base. puCK trying to secure this position yet again, but Drunkenboi's moving in. Disruptor gets picked off and GG gets called. I guess puCK sort of just stretched too thin there. Very well by Drunkenboi, managing to take the game off puCK there, splitting him into pieces. Very well done. The harassment was actually next level, just sort of countering puCK's style there is Marauders. It's so hard for puCK to clean up harassment if it's sort of done right, and Drunkenboi did the harassment right. I know that's sort of bland, so I'll go into some more detail here. puCK only had Blink Stalkers and Disruptors. He didn't want to make Adepts, he didn't want to make Zealots. His Mothership Core was busy defending at the front, and that allowed Drunkenboi's Marauder drops just to be so effective, as puCK couldn't easily clean them up, and he was sort of just pulled apart the entire game. puCK managed to hold on for a very long time with his Disruptors, but ultimately Drunkenboi's composition and micro sort of just won out there. His macro was also very good. So anyway, if you guys have enjoyed the cast, feel free to leave a like. Feel free to subscribe, as I'm always putting out StarCraft 2 casts right now. Otherwise, I shall see you guys next time.